Hello guys, welcome back. So now here in this session, we'll talk about account payable. Guys, if we talk about account payable, so in account payable, of course, like vendor related, all the transactions are going to be taken care, right? What is this account payable? Look at here. So account payable. An account payable is a liability for an amount owed to a creditor, so-called vendor or supplier, right? For the purchase of goods or services. In a very simplest way, if you talk about, look at here, account payable means that we have to purchase the goods, that we have purchased goods on credit and we are yet to pay off the creditor. Very simple, guys. Nowadays what is happening, uh, if you have to purchase something as an individual, individual, simply we just visit the shop, we buy the goods, make the payment, come back, right? But if you talk about B2B purchase, business to business, right? If Tata Motor has to purchase something, so Tata Motor is not having cash purchase. It's not like they're not having cash purchase. Of course, in certain cases they are having small purchases are taking place. That is a different thing. But when they have to purchase the raw materials and all, in that case, that is going to happen on credit basis. In the sense, purchase has taken place today, and payment will be received, in the sense payment will be released to the vendor after 30 days or after 60 days. Okay, there will be a terms of payment negotiated between Tata Motor and supplier or vendor, both are same, right? So this is the terms of payment will be agreed between both party, that yes, once I receive the goods, from there onwards you have to wait for 30 days, or you have to wait for 45 days, you have to wait for 60 days, and then we are going to make the payment. Okay, so in between, like, let's suppose, so now Tata Motor has made a purchase of, say for example, 1 lakh rupees. So financial statement when the financial statement, okay, or simply I'll type in shortcut. When the financial statement is generated, what about this 1 lakh rupees, right? So of course this 1 lakh rupees will be shown as a liability. It means Tata Motor is liable to pay this 1 lakh rupees to the supplier, right? So this is called liability. Okay, that is what I have specified here. Account payable means that we have purchased goods on credit and we are yet to pay off the creditor. Creditor means supplier, vendor, whatever you say. Account payable is a liability. It's a short-term liability. Of course, the payment, whatever the payments are there, that is going to be made within, like, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, right? Like that. It's not like that we are going to, make the payment in 1 year or 2 year, like that. It's like in short term, we have to make the payment. Now, so here account payable, as I said, like all the transactions which is related to vendor will be taken care here in account payable. In account payable, multiple things are there, guys, that I'll explain one by one. There will be several sessions in account payable. Several topics are there that I have to explain. Now, in order to, if we talk about this account payable, okay, so in order to configure this AP account payable, now if somebody asks what is the prerequisites, in the sense what are the minimum configurations required into SAP, guys, so that we can start account payable configurations, can anybody tell me? What are the minimum configuration must be available here into SAP so that we can start account payable configurations? Anyone is having any idea? the message. Okay. Anybody? Supplier is vendor. Yes, supplier is vendor. So guys, now in order to configure account payable, we must be having some minimum configurations. Okay, account payable means, now let's suppose you have to think in a different way. Say for example, account payable means we have to post vendor related transactions. Say for example, vendor invoice. So if you post this vendor invoice, what are the setting must be there? First of all, the first question itself is this vendor invoice will be posted for which company code, right? For which company code? So here again, this company code related. So company code means that comes under enterprise structure, right? Enterprise structure. So this setting is required where you have to set up like company code, company with business area, and also enterprise structure setting is required. Creation of company and business area are optional setting, but company code we must have to set up. No. So enterprise structure setting is required. Then the second, of course, basic setting is also required, because no matter whichever transactions you guys post that belongs to a particular financial year, right? It is going to be posted in a particular period. So fiscal year variant, posting period variant, it will be posted against a particular document type, right? When you post a transactions, system will generate a transaction number, document number will be generated. So it means what is happening, guys? Basic setting. Basic setting also required. Enterprise structure, basic setting, and then third, when you post a transactions, let's suppose vendor related transactions. Okay, say for example, uh, okay, we have created rent GL or audit fee GL, right? Say for example, there is a particular builder, ABC Limited or ABC anything infrastructure private limited. So they have developed like whatever the corporate office of Tata Motor is there, that entire area is developed by that particular vendor and supplier, you can say vendor, and they have given that area to Tata Motor on lease, on rent. Every month, what happened? Tata Motor received the invoice from that particular vendor, and Tata Motor make the payment of rent a particular amount. So in that case, what is the accounting entry, guys? Here, vendor account will be debited or credited. Vendor account will be credited, and rent account will be debited. Okay, this is what the accounting entry is going to take place. Vendor account will be credited and rent account will be debited. So vendor account, of course, we need to set up, right? We need to set up vendor account. We need to set up. That is the first thing. Second thing is in order to set up this vendor account, we have to perform certain configurations into SAP. Which configurations? Account payable related configurations. Some basic configurations we have to do. Then we will be able to set up a vendor account, right? But what about this rent? This is a GL account, guys, isn't it? So this GL account is also required. In order to set up a GL account, we must be having GL setting, right? So GL setting is already done, but in order to perform account payable, if let's suppose you have to configure account payable, then even before that, GL setting also supposed to be completed. So what we have done, guys, enterprise structure, basic setting, and GL setting. these three configurations are required, right? Apart from this, so till now what we have done, we have done this enterprise structure setting, basic setting we have done, GL setting we have done, right? Of course, cash journal and foreign currency setting also we have done, isn't it? I'll tell you guys, if say for example, if I have to explain, like I have explained like cash journal also and foreign currency setting, right? Foreign currency settings, 4 and 5, 5 topics, right? If I have to explain these 5 topics, if I have to explain 5 topics without explaining the scenario, without explaining the scenario, how many session it is going to take, guys? I think max to max 5 to 7. That's it, right? In the 5 classes itself, this is what is being done. You check like enterprise structure setting, one class it is finished. Basic setting, another one class, basic setting will be completed. Again, one class, GL setting will be completed. One class, and that to 20 or 25-minute session is more than enough for cash journal. Foreign currency setting also can be completed just in 10 minutes itself. So I think just in five class we can complete all these 5 configurations, right? But when I have to explain with logic, it is going to take more than 30 or 35 class. So look at here. This is what the difference. But this is how you guys are going to become a consultant. Whichever configurations we have performed till now, whatever configurations we have done till now, how much time it is going to take only if you have to do the configurations. Max to max. If somebody asks me, if I have to do, it is going to take 10 to 15 minutes. In the sense, in 15 minutes, we can complete all these configurations, whichever we have done till now. Right? So configuration part is quite simple, guys. Configurations only if you have to learn and if you have to do in 15 minutes, this entire configurations I can perform. Right? Even less than 15 minutes I can perform. For you guys, let's suppose if you have to watch the documents and on, you have to perform the configurations this entire. Maybe in 30 minutes you can complete, or maybe in 40 minutes you can complete the entire configurations. Right? But when you talk about logic, we need to understand what is the use of cash journal, right? What are the scenario in cash journal? What kind of requirement comes from client, right? In cash journal. So as per that, what is happening, guys? We are going to make some changes in the settings. So those things, if you have to understand, if you need to know, then of course, instead of one class, let's suppose it is going to take 5 class. Foreign currency, instead of 20 minutes, it's going to take 3 hours or 4 hours. If I have to explain all the logic, right? Likewise, GL setting, basic setting, everywhere the what is the logics are required. And if you go for this logic, then of course it takes time, right? But still we can say that we are in starting itself, because 5 class is nothing, right? So now in a AP automatic payment, this account payable, in account payable, these settings, minimum these settings are required. Okay, even if cash journal and foreign currency settings are not there, that doesn't matter. If these settings are done, then even you can configure cash journal also, right? And cash journal is not having any dependency on account payable, and account payable is not having any dependency on cash journal. But yes, these three settings must be there into SAP. And if you have to complete these three settings only, it is going to take hardly 5 minutes. In the sense, say for example, you have created one company code. All of you I'm talking about, right? All of you, if you have to come on this, like let's suppose you have to start AP settings, and if you want to set up a new company code, you can set up a new company code, enterprise structure setting, basic setting, and GL setting. Within 5 minutes, it can be completed, and then you will be there on AP. Okay, so account payable means what is the minimum configurations or what is the prerequisites for account payable, guys? Sometimes people ask what is the prerequisites for account payable. In the sense, minimum configurations must be there into SAP so that you can start configuring account payable. So minimum configuration means you must have to perform enterprise structure related setting, basic settings, and GL setting. These settings must be there. Okay, now then we can perform account payable setting. Now here what is happening guys, in account payable I have quoted an example, vendor account credit and rent account debit. Or else let's suppose we have created a GL account called audit fee. Say for example there is a audit form is there which is giving audit related services to Tata Motor, and at month end they send the invoice. So now what is happening guys, that invoice will be posted, and from that particular date onwards 30 days audit firm has to wait, and after 30 days their payment will be released. So whatever that audit firm is there, right, that is also a vendor giving services to the Tata Motor, right? And so again there also what is happening guys, once we receive that invoice, what kind of accounting entry will be posted? If you post that invoice, then the accounting entry will be again that audit firm vendor is there, that will be credited, and audit fee account will be debited. We can create audit fee GL, right, and audit fee account will be credited. So this is how what is say accounting entry will be taking place. So in every cases what is happening, we need to have one vendor account and one GL account also. So GL account can be created very easily. If any new GL account you have to create, now configuration is not required because configurations are already done. Simply you have to create a new GL account. That's it. But here in vendor account, if you have to create a vendor account, first of all we have to complete the configuration part. Let's have a look here which configurations we have to do guys. So now the configuration is, first of all what we have to do, we have to define a vendor account group. Now, what is the use of this vendor account group, guys? Or what is the use of account group? Can somebody tell me what is the use of account group? Or like what does it control? Anyone? Anybody, guys? Account group I have explained in the previous session, GL setting. That account group itself, if anybody want to explain. GL account group itself. Anyone?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, tell me, dear.
Sir, I think account group is basically it used to segregate the account types. It means
Mhm.
whether it is liability or the account type is liability, asset, expense or income. Basically, these four types of accounts are there, and income in our subject, uh, liability, assets, expenses, and
Okay.
income. And then liabilities are two types, and both of these four are uh, will be segregated in two types, uh, long term liability, short term liability,
Mhm.
and fixed asset, current asset. And expenses will be direct expense, indirect expense, and income will be direct income and indirect income. So these eight types of account group are there in accountancy.
Okay. Any other explanations, guys, apart from him?
Sir, account group controls the field of GL master.
Yeah, you're talking about controls. Yes, tell me.
Account group also controls the number range of GL account.
Oh, yes. So yeah, this is what like the control. Of course, like whatever Raj has said is talking about like general terms. Of course, he's fine recently, maybe 2 3 days back itself. That's fine, but I appreciate, because the thing is like when you guys are going to say something, right? Don't care like whether it is right or wrong. Here, like I'm going to hear these things and all. If it is right, it's okay, fine. If it is wrong, also, no issues. I'm going to explain, right? But the thing is like, don't hesitate to say, because here, like, there is no outsider. It's me, your faculty, or is your batchmates are there. So it's okay, no issues. There won't be any problem. But here, if you make the mistake, of course, I'm going to rectify. I'm going to explain that what I'll correct it, right? But be open so that like during interview also it is going to be quite easy for you guys, right? So I expect that you guys are going to, and this is how I'll come to know that okay, who is there. Of course, I know that everybody are not on the same page, right? Somebody is like watching the video number 30 or 32, and somebody are still there on video number 5, video number 6, video number 8, and 8. So it's okay. But anyway, no need to worry. If you know something, try to explain. Don't think whether it is going to be right or wrong. Other doesn't matter, right? Be open and say something. Chalo. So yes, if we talk about account group, GL account group means, of course, see, first of all, account group means what? It is a group of similar type of accounts. Similar types of account means in GL we have like asset. We have like, if you talk about the GL account, so GL account, based on nature, it can be divided into four parts. Say for example, asset is there, liability is there, expense is there, revenue is there. So what happened? We can create minimum four types of account group. Whichever GL belongs to asset category, that GL will be created under asset account group. Whichever belongs to liability category, those GL can be created under liability account group, right? Whichever belongs to expense and revenue, those GL can be created under those account groups. That is the one thing. Second thing is, account group is having certain control also. Account group is having certain controls also. Which control, guys? The control will be like, account group control the fields. Fields of what? Fields of GL accounts. It controls the number ranges also. In the sense, when you create the GL master, right? For every GL, particular number will be there. So that number range also can be controlled, right? The same thing is applicable in case of vendor also. In vendor also, say for example, if we have two kind of vendor, service vendor and material vendor, right? Let's suppose here, service vendor and material vendor, right? So what happened? We can set up two different vendor account. Sorry, we can set up two different vendor account group. One is for service vendor, another one is for material vendor, right? Account group. What is the use of account group, guys? So account group control the fields. Now here in terms of account payable, now what happened? Again, account group controls the fields of this vendor account. In the sense, when you create a vendor account, certain fields will appear, right? So those fields can be controlled by these account groups. Okay. In when you create a vendor account, multiple fields are there. Let's suppose name, address, phone number, fax number, right? Terms of payment will be there, payment method will be there, right? And multiple other fields are also there. Short key will be there. So whichever fields are appearing at the time of creation of vendor account, now what happened, guys? Those fields will be controlled by account group. If client says that, let's suppose in vendor, while creating a vendor, there is certain field. If client says that I don't want this field, then what happen? You can suppress that field. Suppress means simply we can hide. That field will not appear, right? Or else you can, if client says that this field At the time of creation of vendor, this field must be filled up. In this, a certain input must be given in this field. So that field can be, we can set up as a required entry, right? Or else, if client says that this field is okay, if required, then we can give certain input, and if not, then we can leave it up. So that field is going to be treated as a optional field, right? So such kind of control, certain field can be suppressed, certain field can be required, certain field can be optional. This is possible with the help of account group itself. And even when you set up a vendor, say for example, when you set up a vendor for service, right, then there'll be a particular number will be generated. When you set up the vendor for material, a particular number will be generated. Or in short, like let's suppose if you set up a vendor account itself, a particular vendor number will be generated, a code will be generated, right? So which number will be generated? What happened? First of all, we have to give a number range. If you give a number range, say for example 1999 itself, then what happened? If we have given this range, then from this range only the vendor number will be generated. First vendor, let's suppose 1000, then 1001, 2, 3, like that. But again, there might be a question in your mind that if we give like this 1000 to 1999 range, then what will happen once this range is completed? So I'll tell you guys in real time what happened. In real time, we are going to give 10-digit code. So this is not this small number, right? 10-digit code means that is billions, you can say, right? Millions or billions. So that is like is almost like it is impossible. That much vendor won't be there in any organization, no matter it is the big or small, whatever it is. So it is impossible to consume that number range even in 100 years also. Such kind of range are being given. If you are given 10-digit number range, then it's huge and huge, right? That cannot be consumed even in 100 years or 200 years also. So so generally what happened, if we talk about this account group controls the fields and number ranges, fields and the number range. Okay, we'll see this practically also. So first of all, what is happening, guys? First of all, if we talk about like here account group, define vendor account group. So account group means group of similar type of vendors. That is the first thing. It controls the fields and it controls the number ranges also. I'll show you practically, no need to worry. So how to define the account group, guys? OBD3 is the transaction code by which you can define. Meanwhile, let me log in first here. And whenever you log in, you have to give your client code 810 or whatever client is there. So 810 here right now, the setting is being done in 810. So you can change it and you can give the password. Okay. So here, how to define the account group? Use transaction code OBD3. Okay. And now what is my company code? So company code is TM01, right? I'll create a single account group itself. A single account group I can create. Okay. And then we'll proceed further. Okay. Click on inventory. Tata Motor. Let's suppose account group. Okay. Just save it. Now here, look at here, guys. So whatever, now look at here field status. We have like general data, company code data, purchasing data. Double click here on general data. Again, multiple fields will appear. you can suppress, you can make it required, you can make it optional, you can make it display also. Display means, say for example, a particular field is there at the time of creation of vendor master. There is a field like name to, name to. So name to. If you are going to make this field as a display mode means what will happen? This field will appear. This field will appear in the sense the field will be visible, right? But you won't be able to enter any input in that. Simply it will be in display mode, right? So anything can be, whichever required, like you can if you suppress name one, anyway name one suppose not to be suppressed because every vendor will be having a particular name, and that is going to be specified here in name one itself. So if you want to make it required, you can make it required entry, because name one means vendor must be having the name, right? Then even address also you can, like street address, these things also if you want to make, you can, of course you can make it required entry, right? And you can save it. Okay, likewise we have company code data, purchasing data. Okay, that I'll explain while setting up the vendor. I'll explain what is the use of this, but right now just save it. I made one change and then you can save it. Okay, so create a single vendor account group itself. You need to understand the logic behind this account group. What is the use of account group? Now the next one is create the number ranges for vendor account. Okay, xkn1. What you have to do, guys, now just open one more screen, or else in that screen itself you can use xkn1, and look at here, click on this interval, and here we can set up a particular number range. Look at here, multiple number ranges are already there. If you want to create your own number range, you can create, right? You can create, or else if you want to use the existing number range, you can use anyone, you can do, right? If you have to click here, and let's suppose here you can give a number range code. So which code? 1 2 3 4 5 is already given. Now you can give 06, or else you can give like numeric, alphanumeric or alphabetic code, and then here you can give any number range. Let's suppose if you give like, let's suppose 500 to 1000 and press enter, this won't be accepted. Why? Look at here, SAP is saying that enter interval without overlap. This number, this one is overlapping. Overlapping where? So look at here, we have the 700 to 799. So with this number range, because whatever this 700 to 799 is there, that falls, that number is already included here. So this number range, this entire number is overlapping because their number also comes under this one, right? So this number is already set up now. So you cannot create any number range which is overlapping with others. Even we have like what to say, and if you talk about this last 1000, so that is also overlapping with this one, because 1000 onwards we are starting here also, right? So you have to create the unique number range which is not used by others till now. Like you can make it, can we make like 3000 to 3999, 3999 without overlap? This is also, yeah, it is created now here, right? So instead of finding which number range is already created and which is not created, what you can do, guys, no need to worry, you can use the existing one which is already there. No need to create multiple number ranges, guys. So here, let's suppose 1000 to 1999, 2000 to 2999, 5000 to 5999, multiple numbers are there which is still, so it is, you can make use of anyone, or else if you want to create, you can your own, you can create your own, no issues. So what I'm going to do now here, I'm going to use this number in 01 itself. Okay, 01 itself. So now create number range for vendor account. So whatever number range we are going to set up, from that particular range itself, what will happen, guys? A vendor number will be generated. Now here, if we talk about this one, so here already then the vendor number will be generated from which one? 1000 to 1999. But look at here, before that 60 is added. Why? Because the number range means vendor number range in real time 10-digit length will be given by people, and if you give a 10-digit length, then it is impossible to consume even in 100, 200, 500 year also, because it's a huge number, right? Company, let's suppose how many numbers, how many vendors will be there? Maybe some 1000, 2000, 5000, 10,000, 20,000, not more than that. If it is a huge organizations, maybe 50,000 vendor will be there. Huge organizations means if they're having presence in throughout the globe, like let's suppose Unilever is there, they'll be having huge number of vendor. But still this is quite less if we talk about this 10-digit number range length, right? So I'm going to use number range code, which one? 01, and here number range is 1000 to 1999. So when I create a vendor, which number will be generated, guys? In our status logic is already explained that is going to work here also. Here also what happened, guys?
1050.
Which one?
1050.
1050.
50.
Yes. So NR status plus 1, the number will be generated, right? Till 49 is already created. Now NR status plus 1 will be generated. Okay. So here use this 01 itself better. Use 01, and it is quite easy and simple to remember. 01, 02. You can use either 01 or 02, anyone you can use. Okay. So we have created the number range. Say for example, assign the number range to vendor account group OBAS. Assign the number range /NOBAS. Look at here. This number range, let's suppose, is created. It is OBAS. Here itself I'm going to use OBAS. This number range is created, right? This number range is created. Now we have to assign that number range. Which number range? 01. So click on position, and what is your account group? TM01. And here the number range I am going to give is 01 itself, and save it. So the number range code we have given 01. Now what will happen? I said that account group controls the number range also. Yes, look at here. When you create a vendor, say for example, when you create a vendor, any transaction code can be used, guys, whether XK01 or FK01, whatever it is. Let's suppose FK01, or use XK01 itself, because this is what the being used. Okay. So look at here. You have to give the company code. Okay. Purchase organizations, right now it is not needed. This will be explained later when I start FIMM integrations. Right? So FIMM integrations means still too much time is there. As I said, still we are in beginning itself. Right? We are in starting phase itself. So purchase organization is not needed right now. You have to give the company code. You have to give the account group. Right? So look at here. A vendor account is getting created with reference to account group. You have to enter the account group code here. Right? So against account group itself, the vendor is getting created, right? So when you have entered the account group, and after that you press enter button, and you give all the details related to vendor. The moment you save it, the moment you save this vendor, then what happens? This is created against account group now. So SAP will check which account group. The account group is TM01. Then SAP will check in background against this account group TM01, what is the number range code is assigned? Okay, it is 01. Then SAP will check in background against this number range 01, right? Against this number range 01, against this number range code 01, what is the number range? It is 1000 to 1999. Okay, then SAP will check in this range what is the NR status. It means number range status. System shows 1049. It means till this much vendors are already created. So what is the next number which is supposed to be generated? So NR status plus 1. It means 1050 will be the next vendor number. And with this logic, SAP will be able to generate a vendor number. Whatever I have explained, guys, this is very simple. Most simplest things I can say, right? Uh, Even when you guys are going to do the practice, anyway, you guys know this logic, or is if you forgotten, then again I have repeated here, right? So the thing is, a very simple question. If somebody asks like how the number range is going to work out or how system generate a particular number, if you explained in this way, this is going to be treated as a unique answer. Unique answer in the sense like you guys are giving logic. You have given the sequence. You have shown the sequence that in this sequence only number range will be generated. This is how the number range will be generated, right? How many people are going to explain? This is a very simple things, but still 98% of the people will not be able to explain. Simply they will say that number range is getting generated from number range. This is a common answer. What is the difference between you and them? So of course you people have to explain in this way. It is going to take 2 minutes, but that's fine. This is going to be treated as a unique answer. So number range, look at here. Number range is being controlled by account group itself. Why? Because whatever this range is there, right? This range is there. It is created against a particular number range code. And this number range code we have linked, we have assigned against this account group, right? And when you create a vendor, so what will happen? How the number range is generated? Number range is generated with the help of account group. Why? Because this number range information SAP is able to get from account group only. So first point of contact or primary contact in order to get to know about this number range is account group. SAP has to ask from account group itself that which number I have to generate. Then it is account group which is directing this SAP till here, till here, right? Account group is saying that check my assignment first. SAP found that 01 is assigned against account group, and then SAP will check against 01. This is the number range, and this is the NR status. NR status plus 1 will be generated, right? So it gets saved, save it, and you don't forget to save the configurations, right? Saving the configurations, because I'll tell you guys, you have done the setting, and let's suppose in certain cases I have seen you guys are forgetting to save, and without saving, if you have used a different transaction code, then the previous configuration is you have performed the configurations but that was not saved. So what will happen? It means that is gone. Now when you are proceeding further, and let's suppose further steps and all, and sometime you get the error that this setting is not existing. So mostly what happened, people answer I have done this setting, but system is saying that no, it is not exist. So yes, you have done the setting, but definitely you might have forgotten to save that. If you save, then only it will be there in the system. Okay. So what we have done, create the number range is created, assign the number range against account group, that is done. Now define tolerance group for vendor. Here for vendor also, for vendor and customer both, we have to define the tolerance group. Only single tolerance group supposed to be defined. With that itself, what is happening, guys, that is going to work out for vendor and customer both. What is the use of tolerance group? In detail again I have explained. We have tolerance group for employee. Tolerance group for employee means that is having certain control, right? It is going to put a restrictions on the users in terms of amount and discount. Basic setting, guys, that too I think I have given 2 sessions on that. A topic which supposed to be completed in 5 minutes, I have explained 2 hours. What is the reason, guys? Configurations, and if you have to complete only configurations, just 1 minute is more than enough. In 1 minute, configurations will be done, right? And that is the reason I said here only configuration part. If I have to teach, then this enterprise structure and basic setting, guys, it can be completed in one session, right? Long back, I'm talking about long, when I started my what is it teaching and all, right? It is already done by me in a single session itself, because now what is happening, institutes are giving target, right? They said, so we have to complete the session in 30 days itself. Now if I have to finish 30 days, the entire session I have to complete in 30 days, then how can I give 10 classes on basic setting itself? Then enterprise structure and basic setting, this was completed in a single session, right? Cash general topic, foreign currency setting, these all things were ignored. It was not there, right? Entire GL settings and all, that is completed. GL setting and document posting, one single session. Look at there in document posting itself, I have given multiple session because we have to know like document reversal and multiple other things. So it means now in two class, whatever we have done like till now, in two class it was completed. Two session only it was completed, right? So you guys also have to complete. If you have to complete like let's suppose entire settings, whichever we have done till now, the configurations can be completed just in, from my side it can be completed in 5 to 10 minutes. For you guys it is going to take half an hour. That's it, right? So again, but we have, if we talk about the logic, it is going to take time. Now so here tolerance group I was talking about. Tolerance group means for employee you can set up the tolerance group, that is already done in basic setting. For GL we can set up a tolerance group, that is already explained in GL setting, in the sense that is already completed, in the sense we have created, right? Now for customer and vendor also, there is, for vendor also there will be a tolerance group, right? So that whatever tolerance group we set up for vendor, the same tolerance group is going to work out for customer also. So one tolerance group we have to define. Now what is the use? This one is going to have control on vendor and customer. First of all, use OB A3 and click a new entry, and here give the company code TM01. Don't enter anything in the group field. If you give any code, then what happens, guys? You need to assign this tolerance group to the vendor master, right? So keep it blank. Keep it blank always. Here in tolerance group, multiple controls are there, but the thing is like let's suppose here grace days, right? So that is like we don't prefer to specify the grace days here. Again, there will be further configurations where we give the grace days and all. Apart from this, yes, permitted gain and loss you can give here. That's it. Apart from this, payment terms, and here fixed payment terms, no need to give any fixed payment terms and all. Payment terms I'm going to explain separately, and multiple payment terms we have to define. That's it. Okay. Apart from this, okay, you just give here permitted payment differences, nothing else. Nothing is here supposed to be. Dunning key and all, no need to enter anything. Dunning key, of course, for vendor it is not going to be used, guys. Dunning key and dunning, whatever the dunning concept is there, that will be explained later in account receivable, and that is going to be used for customer. Okay, so in very rare cases it is going to be used for vendor. So rare things is impossible, guys, to explain, because rare means once you guys are having certain, you know, once you spend certain time in real time, once you got the knowledge, there are lots of things which you guys will come to know automatically, right? So here I have to explain the things which is required for you guys to start a view career. Or it's like if you talk about the SAP, there are multiple. First of all, you save this. For every configurations, what happen, guys? For every configurations, you'll be having multiple fields are going to appear, right? So every fields are impossible to explain. Even there are lots of fields which even I also don't know, because I haven't used that. That may be the country specific settings, right? And if we started explaining each and every fields, even it is not possible to complete in 5 years also. The training cannot be completed even in 5 years also, right? So whichever things are required for you guys, that is going to be explained, and that too in detail with entire logic. So what we have done now here, I have defined a tolerance group here. Okay, permitted payment differences I have given gain and loss 10 and 10. Permitted payment differences means, say for example, so you have posted an vendor invoice, right? Vendor invoice where the vendor is credited, right? Vendor account credited during vendor invoice. Worth of, say for example, worth of 1001. And now at the time of payment, the same vendor account will be debited. The same vendor account will be debited, right? At the time of payment, let's suppose we made a round figure, right? So round figure. So credit is 1001. Now debit is 1000. So there is a difference of 1 rupees, right? So in that case, what happened, guys? What about this difference of 1 rupees? If there is a difference, SAP won't allow this debit and credit won't be able to clear, right? So now here what is happening? This differences. So till how much differences can be accepted, guys? So I've specified in tolerance group that if there is a difference till 10 rupees or till 100 rupees, it depends upon client. Client will say that how much differences can be accepted. So if the differences are there till 10 rupees, it can be accepted. It's okay. Or else, like, say for example, there is a customer, right? We have sent the invoice to the customer worth of, say for example, the customer we have sent the invoice, like let's suppose 10,001, and customer has made the payment in round figure 10,000 itself. So what about this 1 rupees? There is a difference of 1 rupees. It's okay, we can accept it, because you cannot get back to the customer saying that there is a difference of 1 rupees, kindly make the payment. 1 rupees is negligible amount. So till how much we can, what to say, ignore or we can neglect. So that is going to be a specified here in tolerance group, so that 10 rupees or 100 rupees, 50 rupees, whatever is explained by client, that can be specified over there. So whatever these differences are there will be accepted by system. These differences will be posted by system in the gain or loss account. And here what is happening? This will be, this credit and debit will be clear. Okay. This is what the logic of the tolerance group for vendor and customer. Now we have to set up reconciliation account. So what is the use of this reconciliation account, guys? That I'll explain next session. Okay, in next session I'll explain the use of reconciliation account. From there onwards, then we'll set up the vendor account, we'll post certain invoices, and then once again I'll explain these all things practically, whatever I have explained here right now. Again, we can see how the field controls are happening, how the number ranges are getting triggered. I'll show you practically so that you guys will be able to remember these things. So I'll stop the session here itself. That's all in this session, guys. That's all for today.